we're going to bring you on and let you out of here on time so you can catch your plane. Jose's going to Dominican Republic. When he comes back, I'm going. So we did not schedule this. He did not check with me. I did not check with him. Jose Escobar is the CEO of where a lot of the people from today came from, Connected Leaders Academy. And so with that, I give you the amazing Jose Escobar, my friend, my baby brother, and just like my colleague and just a wonderful human being. Thank you so much, Jose, for gracing us with your amazing speaking for today. Love heals. Take the stage.
Good afternoon, family, friends, all of the above. First of all, great to see Nikki Cruz in the house, Andre Paradis. Good to see you, my friend. None other than Reverend Dr. Marianne Pageon. Always a blessing being on your stage, being in the same room with you, breathing the same air, even if virtual air. It's always great. So, and you're obviously wearing the appropriate colors. I should have wore a little bit more red. I'm wearing my burgundy, which is close enough, and representing Washington Commanders here. But anyway, yeah, today is Valentine's Day. How appropriate that you selected a day that my wife gave me a hall pass to be a part of the summit, even though she's like, you should be loving me right now. I'm just kidding. She's not that demanding. She's not that demanding. She's actually very casual about it. Because she understands that love is not a particular day. Love is not a particular holiday. Love is not something that we decide to all of a sudden go head over heels on a particular day to say, hey, let me remind you how much I love you. I think that's a daily choice. And it's a daily commitment that we have made to each other, right? And I just saw something from a priest, not from my church, but from a priest that was just on social media. And he said something to the effect of, marriage is essentially, the perfect marriage is two imperfect people, an imperfect husband and an imperfect wife that commit and choose to never give up on each other. That is love. That is what we're talking about here today, what I'm talking about here today, at least from my perspective on love. Now, obviously, we can take love to a higher level and we can talk about what love really is. And in my opinion, take it or leave it, is God is love, right? God is the actual definition of love, is God, because love is God and God is love. Everything derives from love and everything derives from God, and they're interconnected. So there wouldn't be love if there wasn't any God, and vice versa. So that's how I see it. Now, from there is the love that we extend to our to the people that are alive, right? First of all, to ourselves. We got to love yourself, very important. And then if you're in a serious relationship, you got to love your spouse, right? You got to love your children. You got to love your parents, your friends, your clients, your neighbor, love thy neighbor, all those wonderful things. And I've heard many times people say, oh, well, how can I love my neighbor if I don't like them? How can I love my neighbor if they're annoying? They're always blasting music at 2 a.m. when we're trying to sleep. How can I love my neighbor who never looks at me when I try to wave over at them and say hi and they just ignore me? How can I love my neighbor when they know I'm out of town and they see like a bunch of boxes stacking up in front of my house? They just leave it and let it rot and let it get rained on, instead of trying to maybe move it under some kind of a shelter and maybe be a good neighbor. And I can keep going. How can I love this, ex-client of mine that just screwed me over? And the list goes on. So love is not so much like I got to love them with emotion in the sense that I have to like you. It just means I have to respect you. And I have to be kind to you. So let me, I know today is about love heals, right? Love heals. Not so much love in the word love, but love heals is today's topic in this summit. And yes, love heals because love is a powerful thing. Love is a powerful entity that's derived from divinity. And if we know that we're spiritual beings and we're connected to something greater than us, right? Everything that's been created has a creator, right? If we know that we stem from love and we were made, in love, then we have what it takes to love inside of us. Because what is love is what created us, and we are created out of love, and that's kind of what it is. And we can look at it from the perspective of, initially assuming that someone was married and they were married and they had children, then they were derived out of love, which was the intention of where children come from, right? So that being the case, and I'm not a pastor or a priest or anything like that. I'm not looking to preach from the pulpit. I'm just giving you my perspectives, my 2 cents while I have my time here. So when it comes to love, in terms of today is Valentine's Day, at least here in the US, I assume it's in Canada, same thing, right? Okay, excellent. So there are many times, folks, where I will wake up and I am not necessarily feeling it in the sense of how much I love my wife, right? Let's just be real. And she, don't worry, she won't get offended when she sees this publicly. There might be times where I'll wake up and I'm not necessarily feeling it. I'm not like, oh man, I just want to go and love on Katie today. Or, oh, I just want to go out of my way to serve her today. Like there are days where I just don't feel that way. There are days where she might say something to me that might annoy me or might frustrate me. There are things where she might fall short on something and I might get slighted or feel offended. There are times where she might offend me and not even know it. There are times where she might offend me and she did it intentionally in that moment because there was a heated moment and she just wanted to get under my skin and decided to say something or do something that might not have been appropriate, right? Now, keep in mind, my wife and I never cross lines with each other in terms of, fighting and stuff like that, bickering. Any relationship out there, tell me one that doesn't have disagreements, and I will tell you it doesn't exist, right? Because again, a wonderful, happy marriage, the perfect marriage, is an imperfect wife and an imperfect husband who choose to love each other and are committed to each other no matter what, right? They're going to be there no matter what. They refuse to give up on each other in their imperfections. So going back to Katie and myself, all the examples I just gave you, there's many other examples to where I will fall short with her. And she will be like, oh, well, that wasn't very nice, Jose, or when you did this, you made me feel this way, and, this and this and this. And sometimes I might be conscious of what I did intentionally, or I might be unaware that I did something, right? And sometimes things might be unintentional that offend her, and vice versa. We're different people. We're different personalities. I am an extrovert. I am very much in your face. I like to talk to people. I like to meet people. I like to be around people. I like to have fun. She is more reserved, introvert, would rather talk to less people, and is perfectly happy and content, right? We're very different people. So in everything, almost literally in everything, we're very different. Now, when it comes to foundational, ethics, principles, morals, values, we are very much the same. When it comes to personalities, we are very, very different. But excuse me, that's what makes our relationship special. That's what makes it fun. If we were both the exact same, except in male female, it would be kind of boring, wouldn't it? Just a thought. So when it comes to love, Katie and I choose every day to show up for each other. We choose to love each other in the good times and in the bad times. The vows that we agreed to, the vows that we made when we got married, those were not vows in the moment of this is how I feel right now. And I might feel differently 5 years from now. I might feel differently 10 years from now. Those were words that we agreed to, that we vowed to, that we made a commitment to. And can I tell you something? Commitment means all in. Commitment means no retreat. Commitment means there is no turning back. There is no back door. There is no spare key. There is no rear view mirror to keep staring at. Commitment is commitment. Decision is decision. Marriage, my friends, is a commitment. Love, my friends, is a commitment. I am committed to my wife. I am committed to my children. I am committed to myself. I am committed to the Lord. I am committed to my family, my parents, my brothers. I'm committed to my friends. I'm committed to my clients. Because commitment is a word that is tossed around, but very few actually care about that word anymore. We have to be committed to the things that we say we're committed to. Otherwise, don't say it. So, a couple of things when it comes to love, right? Love is, in my opinion, and I use that word on purpose because I don't want to come across like I'm coming from the pulpit or like I'm preaching or like I have arrived and you haven't. That's not even remotely what I'm saying. I'm giving you my opinion, right? Now, my opinion, for the record, is derived from the teachings of the Catholic Church because that's my perspective. My opinion is derived from what I lived as a child growing up in a household with my parents who now have been married for 50 years as of this past December. And my opinion is derived from my experiences that I've experienced in my own marriage based on the values and the principles of what I've followed. And that alone. Okay, so take it or leave it. In terms of love, love is a verb. Okay, it's not a noun, right? So, for example, like I love my wife. There's this great book called The Servant, and I believe it's I forget the author's name. It'll hit me, but it's called The Servant, and it's a world-renowned book. It's a bestseller. I'm sure many of you might have heard of it. I believe the author is James Hunter. James Hunter, The Servant, a simple story about the true essence of leadership. If you've never read that book, folks, I tell you, get the book. It's called The Servant. And in that book, I read something in that book many, many years ago that completely changed my paradigm on what love really is. Love is a verb, folks. It is an action. It is something that we decide and commit to doing, right? So there was in the book, there's a story about this pastor who was kind of doing premarital coaching and counseling with a soon-to-be married couple. And he asked them, so what exactly brings you two together? Why do you guys say that you guys want to get married? And you know what their answer was? Well, because we love each other. We want to get married because we love each other. Okay, what does that mean exactly? What does that mean, we love each other? Can you take it one step further? Can you peel back the onion, the layers of it, and tell us a bit more about what that means to love each other? Well, you know, she's beautiful. He's handsome. He likes being an athletic guy. She's an athletic woman. We both like to work out. We get along. We have similar interests. Our families like each other. All of those things I just mentioned, can I tell you something? That won't last, folks. That is not enough to say, I want to marry this person. Because guess what? She might be beautiful and gorgeous today, but 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, is she still going to be, in your opinion, hot like you saw her from the very beginning? Is she? I don't know. I don't know. Are you going to find her attractive forever? Who knows? Is she going to find you attractive the way she sees you now with your six-pack that might turn into a one-pack at some point after a few years of marriage, right? Is she still going to find you attractive then? I don't know. Time will tell. When you get married till death do us part, right? Through the good and the bad, through sickness and health. What happens if someone gets cancer? What happens if, heaven forbid, my wife has, breast cancer and they remove, that? What happens if I lose a leg in an accident, in a car accident? What happens if one day my wife has to roll me around in her wheelchair all the time? Or and I can give you story after story after story after story of things that can happen in life. What happens if part of the fact that we love each other and like each other is because right now we're young and I'm professional and she's professional, we have great careers and we're crushing it financially, and we're like, well, I like her because she's smart and she got highly educated and so did I, and we're making great money. What happens if I lose my job one day? What happens if I have no money? What happens if we're broke and in debt? Will you love me then? These are things to think about, folks. These are some things to think about, because everyone is so fast to jump into a relationship. And guess what? As fast as they jump into one, that's as fast as they'll get out of it. We got to start doing some vetting work in what we're doing. We got to start vetting our future spouses, right? We got to spend some time and ask ourselves, are the things that matter the most in alignment? So going back to this story of this pastor talking to this young couple, oh, we want to get married because we love each other. What does that mean? And when someone no longer is attractive to you, when someone doesn't have that money they had before, when somebody is no longer able to take care of themselves, when somebody is no longer praising you like they were before, when somebody no longer is interested in what you're interested in, are you still going to be there for them? That's a question. So what is love? Love is more than that, way more than that. And if there's love, love can heal anything. If there's love. So the question is, what is love? Love is a verb. It's an action. It is something that you do, not something that you just say and feel. You know how many people say, and I've heard this so many times, well, we just grew apart. Well, if we grow apart, what does that mean? That means that we are not growing together now. Somebody doesn't get divorced overnight. Somebody doesn't hate somebody overnight. Somebody doesn't get backstabbed overnight. These are incremental decisions that compound over time, positive and or negative. So you got to ask yourself, how am I living? How am I showing up in my marriage? How am I loving myself? Because you cannot give what you don't have. When I got married, I didn't say I want to marry Katie because she's going to make me happy. Oh, no. I married Katie because I knew she had what it takes to add to my happiness. And I was going to add to her happiness. And us adding to each other, complement each other, and looking to serve each other is how the game changes. So it wasn't about she's going to make me happy or I'm going to make her happy. No, it's not what it's about. It's deeper than that. So love is honesty. Can you tell your spouse anything? I can tell my wife anything. Can you be truthful? Can you be honest? Right? Honesty is huge. How selfless are you? You got to be selfless. Love is selfless. It doesn't mean you think less of yourself. It just means you think of yourself less. I'll say that one more time. Being selfless doesn't mean you think less of yourself. It just means you think of yourself less. What can I do for my wife, Katie, today? How can I make her smile? How can I show her in my actions that I love her, not just saying I love you? How can I support her today? Is there something I need to forgive that she might have done to me? And I'm happy to forgive fast. Do you know how many couples out there in society today go to bed upset with each other just about every other night? Can I tell you something? That leads to resentment. It leads to bitterness in your heart. It leads to this turmoil that builds over time. And like I said, when somebody decides enough is enough and I'm leaving you and you're leaving me and we're not meant for each other and we grew apart, that happened over a series of poor decisions. It didn't happen overnight. Kindness. Are you kind to your spouse? I am super kind to Katie. She's super kind to me. You won't see me cursing at her. You won't see me raising my voice at her. You won't see me trying to physically harm her. You won't see me throwing something across the room. You won't see me putting a hole in a wall. You won't see me doing things that are unkind. You won't see me try to intentionally sabotage her. You won't see me belittling her. You won't see me doing anything that would be unkind, because love is kind, right? There are many things that love is, but love does not come down to a feeling. Because can I tell you something? Feelings come and feelings. Can somebody put it in the comments, please? Go. Yes, thank you, Marianne. Feelings come and feelings go. So going back to that story in the beginning when the pastor said, why do you guys want to get married? Oh, I want to get married because we love each other. Okay, that's not enough. What else? What does love even mean? Well, he's attractive and and I find her attractive and he finds me attractive. Oh, that's nice, but that's not going to last. Okay, well, we get along. Okay, well, maybe right now you do. Maybe you won't someday. Okay, well, we both enjoy fitness. We both enjoy comics. We both love Netflix. So we have similar interests. Okay, well, that can change too. There has to be more depth to this. And I will wrap up because I know my time is nearing. And I see the great Spencer Jones in the house. Big shout out to Spencer. So love, above all these things I just mentioned, and there's more, but for the sake of time, love is commitment. Are you committed to this other person? Are you committed to your children? Are you committed to your spouse? Are you committed to your parents, to your siblings, to your cousins and uncles and sisters and aunts and friends and clients? If you say you love them, words, your actions speak so loudly, I hear not what you say. Oh, that's a good one. I'll say it again. Your actions speak so loudly, I hear not what you say. Too many people are throwing around, I love you, I love you, I love you. Do you now? Your actions don't say that. I love you, but I just cheated on you. I love you, but I just hit you. I love you, but I just threw something across the room that shattered and, whatever. I love you, but I walked out on you. I love you, but this and no. Your actions and your word needs to be in alignment. Very, very important. And love is commitment. You got to be all in. The chicken and the pig. We've heard that before. And if you haven't heard it, we all eat turkey. I'm sorry, we all eat bacon and eggs, right? The hen that laid the egg that we eat, the eggs, right? That hen was involved, meaning it laid the egg, we ate the eggs, and that hen is still running around alive. In order for us to eat bacon, folks, the pig had to die. That's commitment. The pig had to die for us to eat that bacon. That's the difference between being involved and being committed, right? The egg and bacon, the hen, the chicken, and the pig. So think about that story when it comes to commitment. You got to be all in. You got to be willing to be all in when it comes to this. So I want to make it adamantly clear that love can heal all things. Love can heal all things, yes. But we have to truly understand what love is. And I said it at the top of the talk earlier, and I'll say it at the bottom here at the end. God is love, and love is God. And we are created in that. And we have the capacity of that because we are created from it, which is love, and love is God. And if anybody understands the Christianity, then you'll understand that we were created in the image of God, which is love, right? So we have the capacity to love, and we have to understand what that means and what it is and what it is not. And love is, again, a verb. It's the actions. It's what we do with it. It's the commitment. It's the all-in mentality. Remember this, if you don't remember anything at all. If you're married out there, and I'm speaking to the institution of marriage because it is broken in today's society in a lot of ways. I'm speaking to the institution of marriage because it's a very powerful one, because children derive from that. And that is very simple. A perfect marriage is an imperfect wife and an imperfect husband that never give up on each other. That is powerful. We have to understand that we have the capacity to love. We have the capacity to be committed. We have the capacity to change the world with love. Even in the midst of turmoil, even in the midst of challenges, most people out there that are probably watching this, and if you don't know, my family just went through hell from Christmas all the way up until now. One devastating thing after another. But guess what? I love my wife today more than ever, and vice versa. And my children. You know why? Because there's commitment there. And because love heals anything and everything at all times, no matter what. So that is my message. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone out there. I hope you're enjoying your day and your loved ones. I know I will. And thank you again, Marianne, for this amazing platform and for all the phenomenal speakers that you always bring to your global virtual stage. Thanks again. Take care. God bless.
Thank you so much, Jose, especially that this is like a crazy busy day for you, as is every day pretty much. But yes, and thank you for sharing and speaking about your family. That's my favorite thing about you, is you have the most amazing family ever, like 6 kids, people. And it's been a tough beginning of the year. Boy, oh boy. Thank goodness you're all good now, right? And you get to go on
Yes.
a vacation, thank goodness, which is more
Yep.
than deserved. Way
This
past.
too shall pass, as they say, and it has passed. So nothing but green on the other end, and we're rocking and rolling. So thank you again.
Excellent. Thank you so much and have a great time.